What's up everybody, welcome back to Superpower Reviews. My name is Liam Smith. Today we're going to be taking a look at the DC Bombshells Batwoman from DC Collectibles, and this is a special edition away uniform variant. Okay, so first thing, let's take a look at the box. This is the DC Bombshells Batwoman, and this is the limited edition away uniform variant, which is the red uniform instead of the black uniform. And flipping around to the side of the box, have a full image of the statue here, stating that it does measure approximately 10.5 inches tall. It's actually taller than that. It's closer to about 11 and 11.5. And flipping around to the opposite side, have another view of the statue showing you the uniform that says Gotham Knights number 52. And if we flip around to the back side of the box, another image of the statue, a little bit of a backstory on the character itself. And at the bottom here you have the Harley Quinn bombshell in the sepia tone along with the matching poison ivy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the DC Bombshells Batwoman out of the box and take a closer look. Now the first thing I want to mention is mounting it to the base. It's just like all the other bombshell statues, same exact base with the metal rivets, a picture of the statue itself, and the Batwoman logo. But what I want to mention about this statue in particular is it doesn't fit quite as snug into the base. Now it's probably just this one in particular, but as you can see, it moves around quite a bit on the base. This has one metal peg that goes into the hole on the base, but the peg itself is a very loose fit. Okay, so starting with the pose of the statue, I really love what they did here. They went with something a little different. Instead of just what they call the museum pose where they're facing straight on, they went with something a little bit more playful where she's kind of spinning around looking over her shoulder, and you can see she's got the spin going with her skirt kind of blowing up and her hair blowing up there, the bat on the shoulder kind of looking over the shoulder in a profile, sort of a profile backwards shot. So starting at the top of the statue, very cool baseball cap she has on here. Looks like a leather baseball cap with, of course, the bat ears and the Batwoman logo on the front in red. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spin the statue a little bit so you can see the face sculpt a little better. And that's the thing about this statue is, just like the other ones, even though the nameplate is on the front, you can still face this different ways if you want to get more of a straight on look like she's doing here towards the camera, or you want to have her looking over the shoulder as I showed originally. Okay, so looking at the face sculpt, I really love what they did here. DC Collectibles does a really great job on the skin tones. They put a nice matte finish on it, a nice tone to the skin. It's not too pale, not too dark. It's just a perfect mid-tone that gives it a really nice natural look to it. And I like the way they went with the mask on this. If you look closely around the eyes, it doesn't really look like a mask that she's wearing. It does look like a makeup painted on mask, which is kind of cool because obviously if she was playing baseball, wearing a mask wouldn't make much sense. And looking a little further down to the lips, I like what they did here. Instead of just the solid red like you'll see on a lot of statues, they did a dark red on the main part of the lips and then a black liner around the outside, which really gives it some good depth to the lips. And spinning around a little bit further, you can see the dynamics in the hair I was talking about. I love the sculpt on this hair. They did a really great job giving it a full look to it, but also a very dynamic flow as she's flipping her head around and flipping the dress around. I also like what they did with the color on the hair. It is a one-tone red, but to give it some depth to the locks, they did shade some darker kind of blacks and darker reds in between the locks to give it, like I said, some depth to it. And moving a little further down to the uniform, another thing I think they did really well here, it is a low-cut dress, but they cut it right in between the bat logo that worked out perfectly because it keeps the shape of the bat. And I do like the way they went with that. It gives it that playful look to it, but it still keeps the logo intact. Now moving a little further down to the skirt, I mentioned about her spinning and getting the dynamic pose of the flow of the skirt along with the hair. The sculpting on the skirt itself is done really well. It is a very thin sculpt on here, but they did a great job giving it a natural fabric look and the motion that it would give if she was spinning. If we spin the statue back around to the side, I like the realistic wrinkles and the way the fabric lays. You can see on the side here lots of wrinkles along the arm. All of it done very realistically and really well. The only real minor flaw I can see in the paintwork so far is this glove that's holding the bat right here. You can see the paint color on the bat spilling onto the hand and onto the fingers. They could have trimmed that up just a little bit by adding a little more black into the fingers and along the hand, just to kind of tighten it up a little bit with the paint. Now flipping around to the back side of the statue, this is probably one of the best parts of the statue. Lots of detail here. You can see it can be posed this way as well, because the Batwoman logo is still showing enough in a profile shot like this to still work. Now looking at the back here, I love the carving that they did into the bat. It's not just painted on there, it is etched or carved into what would be a wood bat. It says the Batwoman. And of course you have the Gotham Knights 52, which is a shout out to the New 52 comic. Moving a little further down, keeping in the theme of the red and black, there are the black socks with the red stripes, and I like that they have the red shoes with the black bat logo on it, which you can also see a little subtle hint of on the end of the bat. There is a red bat logo on the tip of the bat. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the 360 degree view, the scanning around all the close-ups, and get some more detailed looks at the Batwoman statue from DC Collectibles. Alright, and that's going to wrap it up for this review of the DC Collectibles Bombshell Batwoman. If you're interested in picking up this statue, it was just released. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description below for you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, that way you won't miss any of our upcoming content.